Clerk will please unlock the machine. We are on last Tuesday's session. Have all members registered their attendance?
What time is it, Michael?
If all members recorded their attendance, the clerk will please lock the machine. There are 31 members present. I call Senator Goodwin.
Thank you, Mr. President. Without objection, I move to adjourn last Tuesday's session.
Senator Goodwin moves to adjourn last Tuesday's legislative session. Those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The session from last Tuesday is adjourned. The clerk will please unlock the machine. Have all members recorded their attendance? Clerk will please lock the machine. There were 33 members present. There is a quorum. I call on Senator Roger A. Picard, representing the town of Cumberland and the city of Woonsocket, for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank
Senator
you, Mr.
Picard.
President. Dear God, we thank Thee for the gift of the new day, with its opportunities for growth in nobility of character and in service of others. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Senator Picard. First order of business is the reading of the previous day's journal. The clerk, please read.
State of Rhode Island Journal.
Senator Picard.
Mr. President, I move that further reading of the journal be dispensed with and the journal be accepted as printed.
Senator Picard moves that further reading of the journal be dispensed with and that the journal be accepted as printed. This is the journal of March 23rd. Without objection, so ordered. Senator Murray. Senator Murray requests that she be recorded to be in attendance. Hearing no objection, so ordered. Next order of business is the introduction of guests. Senator Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to introduce Mr. Ed Mastriano and Ms. Gail Kessler, both of the community players in Pawtucket. They're here receiving a Senate resolution in congratulations of their 100th anniversary this evening.
Thank you, Senator Coleman. Next order of business is committee reports and/or communications. We have a communication from His Excellency the Governor to the Honorable Senate. I have the honor to inform you in accordance with the Constitution of the State of Rhode Island, I have made the following appointment as Lieutenant Governor of the State of Rhode Island, Sabina Matos. To this appointment, I respectfully request your advice and consent. Sincerely, Daniel J. McKee. Governor, please place this on file. Are there any further committee reports and/or communications? Hearing none, the next order of business is new business. Is there any new business? We have a Senate resolution by Senator Gallo commemorating April 4th through the 10th, 2021 as National Library Week in the state of Rhode Island. Senator Gallo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Could that be read?
Senator Gallo requests that the resolution be read. The clerk will please do so.
Senate resolution commemorating April 4th through the 10th, 2021 as National Library Week in the state of Rhode Island. Whereas libraries of all types are at the heart of their cities, towns, schools, and campuses, serving the communities in Rhode Island. And whereas libraries are accessible and inclusive places that foster a sense of belonging and community. And whereas today's libraries and their services extend far beyond the four walls of a building, and everyone is welcome to use their resources. And whereas for people lacking broadband at home, libraries provide access to computers and Wi-Fi, even checking out internet hotspots and laptops. And whereas libraries strive to develop and maintain programs and collections that are as diverse as the communities they serve and ensure equity of access for all. And whereas in times of crisis, libraries, librarians, and library workers play an invaluable role in supporting their communities both in person and virtually. And whereas libraries are cornerstones of democracy, promoting the free exchange of information and ideas for all. And whereas libraries have long served as trusted and treasured institutions for all members of the community regardless of race, ethnicity, creed, ability, sexual orientation, gender identity, or socioeconomic status. And whereas during the COVID-19 pandemic statewide shutdown, Rhode Island's libraries pivoted to provide virtual programs to the community, including virtual story time, book discussions, reference services, and technology help for parents and students, and also significantly expanded access to digital resources, including ebooks and lifelong learning tools to continue to serve the needs of residents who were, and those who continue, to be unable to visit the library in person. And whereas in addition, during the COVID-19 pandemic, libraries expanded outdoor parking lot Wi-Fi networks to help provide high-speed internet access to those who do not have it available in their homes. And whereas Rhode Island's public libraries began to reopen to the public in June of 2020 and provided curbside and in-person pickup of library materials and access to public computers. Now therefore be it resolved that this Senate of the State of Rhode Island hereby joins the libraries, librarians, library workers, supporters, and advocates across the nation in commemorating National Library Week on April 4th through the 10th, 2021. We furthermore thank Rhode Island's libraries and library workers for their service to our communities and encourage all residents to visit their local library to access these valuable resources and services. And be it further resolved that the Secretary of State be and she is hereby authorized and directed to transmit duly certified copies of this resolution to Ed Garcia, Cranston Public Libraries, and the Rhode Island Library Association.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Senator Gallo.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to rise today to thank all of the librarians. And a lot of times we just think about our local libraries. I'm very blessed to have a wonderful Cranston Central Library. But all the librarians in the schools, they've really stepped up to the plate this year to do everything that's in their power to help out. And I just want to encourage everyone, you know, to make sure that they do visit their libraries because the resources are amazing and the librarians are all there just to give whatever help that they can. They're really very special people, and I want to just acknowledge them and thank them. Thank you.
President Gallo moves passage of the resolution. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator McCaffrey, Senator Goodwin, Senator Lombardo, Senator Felag, Senator Sosnowski, Senator Chacon, Senator DeMario, Senator Acosta, Senator Picard, Senator Anderson, Senator Lombardi, Senator Coleman, Senator Lawson, Senator Burke, Senator Paolino, Senator Morgan, Senator Bell, Senator Corkin, Senator Valverde, Senator Coyne, Senator Seveny, Senator De Palma, Senator Oyer, Senator Murray, Senator Archambault. Is there discussion on the resolution? Senator Algier seconds it also. Hearing none, those in favor of the resolutions, please indicate by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The resolution passes. Senator Murray, you had your light on earlier? No? Okay. Our next item is also by Senator Gallo, a Senate resolution proclaiming April 2021 to be Financial Literacy Month in the state of Rhode Island. Madam President. Senator Gallo asks that the resolution be read. The clerk will please do so.
Senate resolution proclaiming April 2021 to be Financial Literacy Month in the state of Rhode Island. Whereas every Rhode Islander deserves the opportunity to achieve financial security, and whereas too many of our neighbors are struggling with financial challenges at a rate higher than national peers. And whereas individuals with strong personal finance skills have the knowledge to make informed decisions regarding budgeting, maintaining strong credit, saving, investing, and protecting and insuring their assets. And whereas governments, private businesses, community-based organizations, and institutions of education must work together to help consumers make informed decisions about their finances and avoid deceptive or predatory practices. And whereas General Treasurer Magazine launched the Rhode Island Financial Empowerment Roundtable, which regularly brings together representatives from government, nonprofits, education, businesses, and banking to network and share ideas on how to encourage economic growth and financial stability among Rhode Islanders. And whereas there is a strong coalition of organizations, passionate educators, and invested individuals working tirelessly to expand financial literacy and personal finance education in Rhode Island schools. And whereas Rhode Island should endeavor to expand the availability of personal finance education because teaching financial skills to students gives them more economic opportunity. And whereas strengthening the financial skills of all Rhode Islanders is an investment in the fundamental promise of a brighter future and building a more prosperous nation. And whereas April is National Financial Literacy Month and provides the opportunity for Rhode Island to highlight its commitment to teaching ourselves and our children about the basics of financial education. Now therefore be it resolved that this Senate of the State of Rhode Island hereby proclaims April 2021 to be Financial Literacy Month. We moreover urge all Rhode Islanders to take advantage of various programs and activities that will increase their personal financial literacy both during the month of April and throughout the year. And be it further resolved that the Secretary of State be and she is hereby authorized and directed to transmit a duly certified copy of this resolution to the Rhode Island Jumpstart Coalition.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. President Gallo.
Thank you, Mr. President. So while we honor Financial Literacy Month, I just want to acknowledge all the work that Treasurer Magazina has done, and I want to thank him personally for involving me because I was never aware of the need for financial literacy training and all of what's going on within our schools, and it's through his advocacy that it's made such a difference in many children's lives. And I would encourage all families, if they could, to get involved. And if they need help, it's available to everyone. So help us celebrate it by everybody being better with their finances. Thank you. And I move passage.
Senator Gallo moves passage of the resolution. Is there a second? Seconded by Leader McCaffrey. Senator Goodwin. Senator Felix, Senator Sosnowski, Senator Lombardo, Senator Chacon, Senator Lombardi, Senator DeMario, Senator Anderson, Senator Casada, Senator Picard, Senator Cano, Senator Archibald, Senator Burke, Senator Morgan, Senator Algier, Senator Aptakis, Senator Murray, Senator Oyer, Senator Valverde, Senator Coleman, Senator Lawson, Senator Coyne, Senator 70, and Senator Palmer, Senator Algier. Discussion on the resolution. Hearing none. Of those in favor of the resolution, please indicate by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The resolution passes. Senator Cano, you would like to be recorded as being present. Senator Cano would like to be recorded as being present. Senator Mack would also like to be recorded as being present. On to the next resolution is by Senator Coyne, the Senate resolution commemorating April of 2021 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the state of Rhode Island and urging all Rhode Islanders to support efforts that promote children's psychological, physical, and emotional development. Madam Chair.
May I have that read, please, Mr. President?
Senator Coyne requests that the resolution be read. The clerk will please do so.
Senate resolution commemorating April of 2021 as Child Abuse Prevention Month in the state of Rhode Island and urging all Rhode Islanders to support efforts that promote children's psychological, physical, and emotional development. Whereas our children are our most vulnerable citizens, and ensuring their safety is imperative to the health and future of Rhode Island. And whereas child abuse and neglect is a troubling problem impacting every segment of our community, and finding solutions requires input and action from everyone. And whereas child abuse includes physical, sexual, and emotional abuse, as well as neglect. And whereas child abuse can have long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects that have lasting consequences for victims of abuse. And whereas Rhode Island Kids Count reports that in 2019, there were 2,249 indicted investigations of child abuse and neglect in Rhode Island. And whereas in 2020, the Crime Victims Compensation Program approved 181 claims for minor victims and an additional 44 claims for minors who witnessed acts of domestic violence. And whereas every child deserves to be loved, Every child deserves to be safe and supported. Every child deserves the opportunity to excel and thrive. And whereas prevention remains the best defense for our children and our families. And whereas communities must make every effort to promote programs and activities that create strong and thriving children and families. And whereas communities must work to increase awareness about child abuse and promote the social and emotional well-being of children and families in a safe, stable, and nurturing environment. And whereas April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month, that aims to recognize the importance of communities working together to help families thrive and prevent child maltreatment. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Senate of the State of Rhode Island hereby commemorates April of 2021 as Child Abuse Prevention Month and urges all Rhode Islanders to support efforts that promote children's psychological, physical, and emotional development. And be it further resolved that the Secretary of State be and she is hereby authorized and directed to transmit duly certified copies of this resolution to the Honorable Daniel J. McKee, Governor of the State of Rhode Island, the Director of the Rhode Island Department of Children, Youth, and Families, and the Rhode Island Chapter of Bikers Against Child Abuse.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Madam Chair.
Thank you. I'm proud to work with the General Treasurer and the Rhode Island Chapter of Bikers Against Child Abuse on this important issue and a sponsor of this resolution. April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month, and our children are our most vulnerable citizens, and ensuring their safety is vital to the health and future of our state. Child abuse and neglect can have long-term psychological, emotional, and physical effects, and they have lasting consequences for victims of abuse. It is important for leaders to work together to increase awareness about child abuse and contribute to promote the well-being of children and families in a safe, stable, and nurturing environment. And with that, Mr. President, I move passage.
Chairwoman Coyne moves passage of the resolution. Is there a second? Second by Leader McCaffrey, Senator Goodwin, Senator Gallo, Senator Lombardo, Senator Chacon, Senator Sosnowski, Senator Feelag, Senator Anderson, Senator Morgan, Senator Burke, Senator Archibald, Senator Connell, Senator Corkin, Senator Aptakis, Senator Murray, Senator Oyer, Senator Valverde, Senator Seveny, Senator De Palma, Senator Paolino, Senator Algier, Senator DeMario, Senator Lombardi, Senator Lawson, Senator Casada, Senator Picard, and Senator Bell, and Senator Gallo. Is there discussion on the resolution? Hearing none, those in favor of the resolution, please indicate by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Our next item is by Senator Coleman, a Senate resolution celebrating the 100th anniversary of community players.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Coleman.
Thank you. May I have that resolution read, please?
Senator Coleman requests that the resolution be read. The clerk will please do so.
Senate resolution celebrating the 100th anniversary of the community players. Whereas the Community Players, Rhode Island's oldest community theater, was conceived in 1920 by a troupe of dreamers in the city of Pawtucket, dedicated to having fun and encouraging an interest in dramatics. And whereas on May 9th, 1921, the Community Players presented their first performance, Milestones, at the Old Star Theater on Main Street in Pawtucket. It was a resounding success that benefited the associated charities. And whereas in the fall of that same year, the Players presented Hamilton to correspond with the city's 250th anniversary celebration. It was once again a sellout. And whereas in 1971, as the city observed its tricentennial, the Players, who were celebrating their 50th anniversary, provided highlights of various historic city events. And whereas the Players also present a yearly program of plays that culturally enriched Pawtucket and the Blackstone Valley area. Membership has grown exponentially over the years, with nearly 600 current members offering 9 nights of performances for musicals and 6 nights for non-musicals during 4 yearly productions. And whereas many of the Players' proceeds have gone to charitable organizations, including more than $1,000 to the Blackstone Valley Emergency Food Center, they also held a performance benefiting the Arc of the Blackstone Valley, which honored them with a special award for their contribution, and have done performances for local PTAs and women's councils, Lions Club, Quota Club, Kiwanis, Friends of the Library, the Rotary, and the League of Women Voters, to name just a few. And whereas currently located at the After the Star Theater, the Players have had many homes over the years, including the old Bijou Theater on Broad Street, the Grand Army Hall on Exchange Street, then to the former Jenks Junior High School, the Pawtucket Senior High School buildings, the Oak Hill Tennis Club, Slater Park Boathouse, and auditoriums at the Pawtucket Congregational Church and St. Martin's Church. And whereas stated best by the Players themselves, good times and bum times, we've seen them all, and my dear, we're still here. Now therefore be it resolved that the Senate of the State of Rhode Island hereby joins the decades of volunteers, performers, behind-the-scenes workers, and audiences in celebrating the 100th anniversary of the community players and wishes them many more decades of continued success. And be it further resolved that the Secretary of State be and she is hereby authorized and directed to transmit a duly certified copy of this resolution to Ed Mastriano, President of the Community Players.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Senator Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. President. It gives me great pleasure to have these folks here today. Pawtucket has a vibrant arts community, as many in this room know, and one vibrant member of the vibrant arts community is celebrating their 100th anniversary. So with that, I move passage.
Senator Coleman moves passage of the resolution. Is there a second? Second by Leader McCaffrey. Senator Goodwin. Senator Felag, Senator Sosnowski, Senator Lombardo, Senator Ciccone. Senator Lombardi, Senator Algier, Senator Burke, Senator Anderson, Senator Archibald, Senator Cano, Senator Bell, Senator Gallo, Senator Mario, Senator Acosta, Senator Casada, Senator Lawson, Senator Picard, Senator Raptakis, Senator Murray, Senator Oyer, Senator Valverde, Senator Coyne, Senator Seveny, and Senator De Palma, and Senator Ciccone. Is there discussion on the resolution? Hearing none, the clerk will please, all those in favor of the resolution, please indicate by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The resolution is passed. The next order of business is new business. We have a consent calendar. Senator McCaffrey moves the consent calendar, second by Senator Algier. The clerk will please unlock the machine. Have all members registered their vote? Senator Morgan would like to be recorded in the affirmative. If everyone has registered their vote, the clerk will please lock the machine. There are 36 votes in the affirmative, none in the negative, and the Senate consent calendar is adopted. That brings us to today's regular calendar. Item number 1 on today's calendar is Senate Bill 251 by Senator Lawson, an act relating to criminals, correctional institution, station houses for women.
Thank you,
Senator Lawson.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill would allow access to feminine hygiene products to inmates at no cost. This is current practice, and this would codify current practice. And I move passage.
Senator Lawson moves passage of the act. Is there a second? Second by Leader McCaffrey, Senator Felag, Senator Sosnowski, Senator Burke, Senator Cano, Senator Corkin, Senator Anderson, Senator Lombardo, Senator Ciccone, Senator DeMario, Senator Acosta, Senator Casada, Senator Picard, Senator Lombardi, Senator Coleman, Senator Mack, Senator Bell, Senator Valverde, Senator Coyne, Senator De Palma, Senator Murray, Senator Golden, Senator Oyer, Senator Goodwin, Senator Paolino, Senator Archibald, Senator Lombardi. Is there discussion on the act? Hearing none, the clerk will please unlock the machine. If all members have registered their vote, the clerk will lock the machine. There are 37 votes in the affirmative, none in the negative, and the act passes. Next item on today's calendar is by Leader McCaffrey, Senate Bill 443 Sub A, an act relating to health and safety, the Hospital Conversion Act. Mr. Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen of the Senate. This chamber over the last number of years has taken steps requiring that the Hospital Conversion Act be improved. Such steps as requiring that witnesses who testify be sworn in and their statements be presented to a stenographer. This legislation comes before us today while the state of Rhode Island will be considering in the next couple of months the biggest transaction in the state's history. We have Care New England and Lifespan talking about merging. It's critical to the well-being and the reliability of our healthcare system that we get this right. What this legislation does, it makes some changes to the Healthcare Conversion Act And one of the changes that it makes to the Healthcare Conversion Act, it would require that when the hospitals control more than 20% of the hospitals in Rhode Island, that they couldn't seek an expedited review. A transaction of this magnitude should not be considered an expedited review process, and we've heard from both parties that that's not their intent. But it's too important to Rhode Islanders for it to go down that route. Over the last couple of years, we've seen 2 hospital transactions that took place, and they went through the expedited review process. One is Memorial Hospital, and that's closed today. The other is Westerly Hospital, and Westerly Hospital went through a subsequent conversion, and a number of the services there have been reduced substantially. I don't think we can look back and say what might have been had they submitted to the more formal rigors of the non-expedited review process. But however, with the Lifespan and Care New England transaction, I think it's important that it goes through the normal process. This legislation also expands the criteria that will be looked at by the Attorney General and the Department of Health. It provides to look at the staffing levels of the 2 hospitals, what they are pre-merger and what they are post-merger. It looks at the retirement plans of the hospitals to make sure that they're viable and sustainable, as well as it looks to, are there any supplemental executive retirement plans that are going to be available to them. The impact to the community is also looked at in that it wants to look at the economic impact on the communities, the employment of the different individuals within those facilities, as well as the total community benefit. By specifying these criteria in the statute, we're allowing the Department of Health and the Department of Attorney General to hire the experts that they want to require to analyze the staffing, potential relocation of employees, and other aspects pre- and post-conversion. The intent of this legislation, Mr. President, isn't to stop the hospital merger between 2 big hospitals, but it's to get the best results for the interests of all the people of the state of Rhode Island and the healthcare system. The proposed Care New England Lifespan merger impacts every part of the state of Rhode Island. We need to ensure that it fully understand the impacts of this on all the citizens for the state of Rhode Island, as whether or not are any jobs going to be outsourced post-merger and what those jobs are and where they're going to go. Mr. President, I move passage, and at the appropriate time, I do have an amendment.
Leader McCaffrey moves passage of the act. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Goodwin, Senator Miller, Senator Felix, Senator Lombardo, Senator Sosnowski, Senator Chacon, Senator Burke, Senator Archibald, Senator Lombardi, Senator Acosta, Senator Corman, Senator Casada, Senator Picard, Senator Lawson, Senator Raptakis, Senator Murray, Senator Oyer, Senator Valverde, Senator Coyne, Senator Seveny, Senator Cano, Senator De Palma, Senator Bell, and Senator Gallo, Senator DeMario, and Senator Coleman. Senator Anderson also. On the act, Senator Bell, on the act, I'm sorry, Senator McCaffrey, do you want to offer your amendment now?
Please, Mr. President. The amendment is LC 001350/2, and what it is on page 7 of the bill, line 8, deleting the word "and their families." Mr. President, I move passage of the
Leader McCaffrey
amendment.
moves LC 001350/2. Seconded by Senator Gallo, Senator Lombardo, Senator Miller, Senator Sosnowski, Senator Chacon, Senator Burke, Senator Archibald, Senator Lombardi, Senator Casada, Senator Lawson, Senator Coyne, Senator DeMario, Senator Seveny, Senator Valverde, Senator De Palma, Senator Oyer, Senator Cano. We are on the amendment now. Senator Bell, are you on the amendment?
No, I speak on the bill.
Speaking on the bill? Okay. On the amendment, discussion on the amendment. Hearing none, the clerk will please unlock the machine. Have all members recorded their vote? The clerk will lock the machine. There were 36 votes in the affirmative, none in the negative, and the amendment passes. Senator Goodwin, would you like to be recorded in the affirmative on the amendment? Senator Goodwin requests to be recorded in the affirmative on the amendment. That changes it to 37 to nothing. The amendment passes. On the act as amended. Senator Bell.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I rise in support of this legislation. I think it's a very important step forward for us to take. We've seen some problems with hospital conversions in the past, and it's been... I'm not sure it is. Can we make the mic? There we go. That better? Excellent. Oh dear. All right. Well, no, what people are maybe following along at home, they didn't hear me thanking the leader and the president. So thank you so much, Mr. President, and thank you, leader, for working so hard on this excellent piece of legislation. It's a very important step that we're taking today. We've had a history of hospital conversions in Rhode Island, some of which have been problematic, as the leader correctly points out. It's particularly an issue in my community, where two of our neighborhood hospitals, Fatima and Roger Williams, have had some hospital transactions that have wound up, I think, leading to a management structure that's diminished patient care, diminished the rights of workers, and led to some pretty problematic developments at those hospitals. It's important that we think about staffing levels in these transitions. Adding that language in is critical, because some of the rhetoric that's been going on by the hospital executives is very concerning, and there's a real possibility they may intend to seek staffing consolidation, the loss of jobs that would be incredibly detrimental to our state economy and detrimental to our healthcare system, which needs to be resilient to be able to handle surges as we have seen so painfully recently. Particularly concerned about the future of Kent Hospital, but so many hospitals across the state will benefit over the long term from having these added protections. So I think it is crucial that we pass this legislation today.
Thank you, Senator Bell. Further discussion on the act as amended. Hearing none, the clerk will please unlock the machine. If all members have cast their vote, the clerk will lock the machine. There are 37 votes in the affirmative, none in the negative, and the act as amended passes. Next item is by Senator Cano, Senate Bill 659, an act relating to the solemnization of marriages. Chairwoman Cano.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move passage.
Senator Connell moves passage of the act. Is there a second? Second by Leader McCaffrey, Whip Goodwin, Senator Chacon, Senator Acosta, Senator Burke, Senator Archambault, Senator DeMario, Senator Murray, Senator Golden, Senator Oyer, Senator Lombardi, Senator Casada. Discussion on the act. Hearing none, the clerk will please unlock the machine. If all members have cast their vote, the clerk will lock the machine. There are 36 votes in the affirmative, none in the negative, and the act passes. Next item is by Senator Coyne, Senate Bill S661, an act relating to solemnization of marriages. Madam Chair.
I move passage, Mr. President.
Senator Coyne moves passage of the act, seconded by Leader McCaffrey, Whip Goodwin, Senator Lombardo, Senator Chacon, Senator Lombardi, Senator Casada, Senator Mario, Senator Sosnowski, Senator Burke, Senator Archibald, Senator Murray, Senator Oyer. Discussion on the act. Hearing none, the clerk will please unlock the machine. If all members have cast their vote, the clerk will lock the machine. There are 36 votes in the affirmative, none in the negative, and the act passes. Next item is by Senator Sosnowski, an act relating to solemnization of marriage, Senate Bill 720. Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move passage.
Senator Sosnowski moves passage of the act. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Chacon, Senator DeMario, Senator Casada, Senator Lombardo, Senator McCaffrey, Senator Archibald, Senator Coyne, Senator Murray, Senator Oyer. Senator Coyne. Discussion on the act. Hearing none, the clerk will please unlock the machine. If all members have cast their vote, the clerk will lock the machine. There are 35 votes in the affirmative, none in the negative, and the act passes. Next item is by Senator Sosnowski, Senate Bill 721, an act relating to solemnization of marriages. You have the floor, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a very blissful day on the Senate floor. I move passage.
Senator Sosnowski moves passage of the act. Second by Leader McCaffrey, Senator Lombardo, Senator Chacon, Senator Lombardi, Senator Casada, Senator DeMario, Senator Cano, Senator Felag, Senator Valverde, Senator Coyne, Senator Murray, Senator Oyer, Senator Palmer, Senator Archibald. Discussion on the act. Hearing none, the clerk will please unlock the machine. If all members have cast their vote, the clerk will lock the machine. There are 36 votes in the affirmative, none in the negative, and the act passes. Item number 7 on today's calendar, Senate Bill 613, an act relating to labor and labor relations, Real Jobs Rhode Island Act. Chairman Chacon.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a bill that you sponsored. During the committee hearings, there was no opposition. This job is to enforce greater economy moves in the state of Rhode Island and create real jobs and a program for the workers. With that, I move passage.
Chairman Chacon moves passage of the act. Seconded by Leader McCaffrey, Senator Goodwin. Senator Gallo, Senator Lombardo, Senator Miller, Senator Felag, Senator Sosnowski, Senator DeMario, Senator Casada, Senator Lombardi, Senator Coleman, Senator Lawson, Senator Picard, Senator Burke, Senator Archibald, Senator Cano, Senator Valverde, Senator Coyne, Senator Seveny, Senator Palmer, Senator Murray, Senator Golden, Senator Oyer, Senator Archibald, Senator Lawson, Senator Picard, Senator Golden. What's happening? Everyone was locked out except Senator Bell? Yep. The Senate will be at ease for a couple minutes until we straighten this issue out. Is everyone up? Okay. All right. It just happened to be on my bill. That happened. Okay, we are still on item number 7. The act has been moved and seconded. Discussion on the act. Senator Bell.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. President. I rise in opposition to this legislation. The Real Jobs Rhode Island program has gotten a lot of hype around it. It's been described in glowing terms that we have reinvented job training. But when you dig a little deeper, it's really an incredibly concerning program. And in fact, I would say one of the most concerning of all of the corporate welfare programs we do here in Rhode Island. The idea behind Real Jobs is to, instead of spending money on like the way a traditional workforce training program works, is you train workers directly. The idea is, instead of doing that, you give the money to corporations. And there are extremely few rules about how the money has to be used. We can see here in the legislation, very few strings indeed. They do have to hold to standards that are mutually agreed to as part of the grant. But there are none of the really important standards that need to be laid down. Even some of the basics are missing. One of the things that the programs that go through Commerce RI, I'm critical of a lot of them, but all of them go through Commerce RI. There's a public hearing. There's a board that deliberates. There's an opportunity to scrutinize, ask questions in public, subject to the open meetings law. This is just at pure discretion of the director of the department and essentially at pure discretion of the executive and whoever happens to be the governor. No due process around the huge amounts of money that get handed out. One of the other problems is that there are no requirements that workers be paid. The way this can work is that, if you take a job and you need some training for that job, some job-specific training for that job, you should be paid while you're getting that training. Instead, under this program, you can be required to take a course before you apply to have an opportunity to get the job, and they aren't even required to hire you. In fact, a quarter, according to investigation by the Providence Journal, a quarter of people who go through this aren't even hired. And then of those, another quarter don't have those jobs 6 months later. So it's not a long-term job that worked out. And it's very abusive to have to take an unpaid course while you're unemployed to even have a chance to apply. And the other part of this is the money that's lost from traditional workforce training investments. It's not just that it's going to corporate welfare, it's that it's being diverted away from real job training programs that are desperately needed, because skills training is important. And then we have concerns about where it actually goes and how the money actually gets used. Because the terms are so vague, it can be used for almost anything. And there have been some, a lot of the criticism, the limited scrutiny that's been applied to this program has been that a huge amount of it goes to one particular military contractor, and people who have concerns about militarism and subsidies of militarism are concerned. And I do share those concerns, but honestly, that program is better administered from a lot of the others. One of the ones that was really concerning in the Projo investigation was, I believe, the Hospitality Association, a corporate lobbying group, that got money to train mid-level management. And they actually used it to bill for things like gas to a charity golf tournament. Terms are too vague. The protections are minimal to non-existent in this legislation. There is a way to make this work. If we want to do training grants directed at specific corporations, we can do that. But we need reasonable guide rails. We need some kinds of protections. The basics. A public hearing. Some scrutiny, protected by the Open Meetings Act. And I would say we need some requirements that workers be paid. We need some requirements about return on investment. We need some of the basic requirements. And even if you are a supporter of business subsidies, A lot of supporters of business subsidies don't like business subsidy programs with no requirements at all, no protections at all. Now, the final thing I'll acknowledge on this is flexibility and poor governance in handing out public money is only that. It's poor governance. It doesn't mean that every program funded from this is a bad idea. Sometimes it can get diverted into things that really aren't workforce training but are great ideas. Or it can be used to fund a really good workforce training program. I'm not saying that every grant funded by this is problematic. It allows good programs, good workforce training programs to be funded. But because it allows anything, we've seen a lot of very problematic misuses of these funds. Some cases, there was one instance, according to the Projo investigation, only 8% of people were hired at the end of the course. And that's problematic. We need some basic guidelines if we're going to do such a heavily funded corporate welfare program. Going to continue it, going to write it into state law. We should put down some basic minimal guidelines. And in this legislation, we don't even have public meetings. We should take a look. Take a look at this actual bill, what it actually contains, the process for handing out the money. I know this hasn't gotten much scrutiny. This is a deeply problematic structure, and it's something that we are going to come to regret, maybe a long time in the future. But seriously, I encourage everyone, take a look at how the money gets handed out. It is not a good system, and we are better than this. And I may criticize the Commerce Corporation a lot, but they do some basics that won't happen under this program.
Thank you, Senator Bell. For further discussion, clerk will please unlock the machine. Have all members registered their vote? Clerk will please lock the machine. There are 34 votes in the affirmative, 2 in the negative, and the act passes. Next item on today's calendar is by Senator Seveny, Senate Bill 67, an act relating to state affairs and government, state emblems. Senator Seveny. Senator, please turn your mic on. Thank you.
So a little over a year ago, I got a call from Dr. Cody Sharp, who is a professor of marine biology at Roger Williams University. And she asked me if I knew that Rhode Island had its own coral. And I said, like a coral group? Or she said, no, coral that grows in the water all around us. And I said, no, I had no idea. And as it turns out, we do. It's everywhere. It's been here forever. Unlike its tropical cousins, it's very resilient. It thrives in the cold water, like we all do. And she said it's been very important to the scientific analysis and study of climate change, specifically variations in sea temperature. Because it's resilient, because it doesn't rely on any other life form in order to thrive, and because it figures so importantly both to Roger Williams University and to URI, where they have very robust programs studying this coral. She asked if we could somehow recognize it, make it more appreciated across the state for its importance. And she asked if it could be included in the state emblems program. And that led to this bill, which basically turns the Northern Star coral into Rhode Island's official coral. And with that explanation, I move passage.
Senator Seveny moves passage of the act. Is there a second? Second by Senator McCaffrey. Senator Gallo, Senator Lombardo, Senator Goodwin, Senator Miller, Senator Felix, Senator Sosnowski, Senator Chacon. Senator DeMario, Senator Acosta, Senator Lombardi, Senator Coleman, Senator Lawson, Senator Casada, Senator Paolino, Senator Burke, Senator Archibald, Senator Anderson, Senator Cano, Senator Bell, Senator Raptakas, Senator Murray, Senator Oya, Senator Valverde, Senator Coyne, Senator Palmer, Senator Casada. Is there discussion on the act? Hearing none, the clerk will please unlock the machine. If all members have cast their vote, the clerk will lock the machine. There were 37 votes in the affirmative, none in the negative, and the act passes. Next item on today's calendar is by Senator Sosnowski, Senate Bill 6-8, an act relating to the General Assembly, Holly Landing. Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill has been passed by the Senate for 2 years, and what it does, it will rename the boat landing in South Kingstown, which is now Warden's Pond Landing. It'll name it Holly Landing. And the reason for this, I was asked by a family member, a Holly family member, to do this. The Holly family generously donated the land to the state in 1954. And because of the Holly family's great service to the town of South Kingstown, I think it'd be very fitting to have this named in the Holly family name. This year, we did get a town council resolution, and I'm hoping that the House will look upon it favorably as the Senate has done, and with that, I move passage.
Senator Sosnowski moves passage of the act. Second by Senator McCaffrey, Senator Algier, Senator Morgan, Senator Gallo, Senator Chacon, Senator Burke, Senator Archibald, Senator Feelag, Senator DeMario, Senator Lombardi, Senator Casada, Senator Murray, Senator Oya, Senator Picard, Senator Lawson, Senator Casada, Senator Feelag, Senator Lombardo, Senator Cano, Senator Paolino, Senator Valverde, Senator Coyne, Senator Seveny, and Senator De Palma. On the act, discussion on the act. Hearing none, the clerk will please unlock the machine. Have all members registered their vote? The clerk will lock the machine. There were 37 votes in the affirmative, none in the negative, and the act passes. Next item on today's calendar is by Senator Gallo, Senate Bill 142, an act relating to alcoholic beverages regulation of sales. Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, this bill will allow liquor stores to be open on New Year's Day, and I would move passage.
Senator Gallo moves passage of the act. Is there a second? Second by Leader McCaffrey, Senator Goodwin, Senator Feelag, Senator Chacon, Senator DeMario, Senator Lombardi, Senator Acosta, Senator Lawson, Senator Paolino, Senator Burke, Senator Archibald, Senator Cano, Senator Bell, Senator Murray, Senator Oya, Senator Valverde, Senator Coyne, Senator Lombardo, Senator Lawson, Senator Casada, Senator Bell, Senator Raptakas. On the act. Senator Bell on the act?
Yeah,
okay.
Briefly on the Thank you so much, Mr. President. I want to thank our President Pro Tem for putting in this excellent legislation. This is a really important, it is excellent legislation. This is actually a really important bill, and it's really significant, and I'm really excited that we're passing it. Because we have had a problem with anachronistic liquor laws in our state that are a huge annoyance to a lot of Rhode Islanders and a hindrance to our business community. And I'm really glad we're making progress on that. You know, that's why I voted against holding this bill in committee. I was so thrilled when we passed it, and I'm so excited that it's on the floor today. It's really important. Happy New Year. You know, there are a lot of people who get to New Year's Day and they realize they've forgotten to buy champagne. It happens. And it's a real thing that happens to real people in our state. And it's not quite the same if you don't get to go buy some champagne. So, you know, I think it's a really good bill. And I'm really excited we're passing it.
Thank you, Senator Bell. Further discussion on this act? The clerk will please unlock the machine. If all members have cast their vote, the clerk will lock the machine. There are 37 votes in the affirmative, none in the negative, and the act passes. Last item on today's calendar is House Bill 5445 Sub A, enacting the State Affairs and Government 2021 Act on Climate. Senator Oyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the identical House bill to the Senate Bill 78A, Act on Climate, which the Senate passed on March 16th. And, Mr. President, I move passage.
Senator Oyer moves passage of the act. Is there a second? Second by Leader McCaffrey. Senator Goodman, Senator Gallo, Senator Miller, Senator Felag, Senator Sosnowski, Senator DeMario, Senator Coleman, Senator Acosta, Senator Casada, Senator Connell, Senator Corkin, Senator Murray, Senator Golden, Senator Valverde, Senator Coyne, Senator Seveny, Senator De Palma, Senator Mack, Senator Lawson, Senator Coleman, Senator Connell, Senator Anderson. On the act, Senator Rogers, on the act.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll be voting on this, and I just want to bring up a couple points. I'll be voting no. I voted no on it last time, the similar bill that came through the Senate. I want to draw some attention to a couple comments that were made on a bill earlier. The bill earlier, we were talking about vagueness of a bill, and we also had comments of no basic minimum guidelines. And I believe this bill falls into the same track of on the enforcement side. We don't know how far it will go and what the damages will be because it is so vague and there are no basic guidelines. It appoints a separate body to rule and regulations on it. So I think there's multiple problems with this, and I'll be voting no, and that's part of it. Thanks.
Thank you, Senator Rogers. Further discussion on the act? Senator Dela Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm not here to debate climate change. We all agree that climate change is happening. I'm not here to debate that renewable energy should be the ultimate goal, because it should be. I think we all agree on that. Rhode Island is normally at the bottom of every list countrywide, from best places to retire, to open a business, you name it, and we're probably at the bottom. But do you know where we have excelled? Reducing our carbon emissions. Rhode Island is number 2 in the country for lowest emissions per capita. So it's not because of our size. And it's something we should celebrate. Should we have the Executive Climate Change Coordinating Council, the EC4? Yes, of course. But this legislation transfers power from the General Assembly to a group of unelected bureaucrats appointed by the governor. And they're required to come up with a plan to get our state's emissions below the 1990 levels. 45% below by 2030, 80% below by 2040, and net zero emissions by 2050. The EC4 creates a plan which will dictate how we get there. What we drive, how we heat our homes, how municipalities develop, and how our businesses survive. This council dictates the plan, and it automatically has the force of law, where Rhode Islanders need to start complying. The problem with this bill is not about science. We're not disputing that. In fact, I and most of my colleagues believe that this council should exist, and they should come up with a plan, but the plan must come back to us, the legislature, for approval or disapproval. We are the ones that knock on doors. We are the ones to get calls from constituents, and we represent the people of Rhode Island. We are the policymakers. With that said, I would like to move our first floor amendment, LC 001259/53.
Senator Dela Cruz offers the amendment. LC 001259/53. Is there a second? Second by Senator Morgan and Senator Rogers and Senator Algier. We are on the amendment. Senator Bell, on the amendment. You don't have to.
Should I explain the amendment before we take comment?
Please do, Senator, please endeavor to explain the amendment, yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate that. This bill mandates that the EC4 Council come up with a plan and meet target emissions of this bill mandates that the EC4 Council come up with a plan to meet target emissions of 45% below 1990 by 2030, 80% below 1990 by 2040, and net zero by 2050. For example, to reduce greenhouse gases by 80%, we would need 81% of residential home heating with electricity by 2040.
That's not the amendment.
That's not the amendment? LC 001259/53?
No.
You have the right
Yes.
number, but not the right explanations,
Let's see.
Senator Dela Cruz.
We have here, on page 3, between lines 15 and 16, by inserting the following language: any plan approved by the Commission pursuant of this section shall only be considered advisory opinion until. Is this the right amendment? Yes. Okay. Right now, we are only at 10%. Let me go back here. For example, to reduce greenhouse gases by 80%, we would need 81% of residential homes heating with electricity by 2040, and right now we're not even at 10%. With something around 93% of households are carbon-based heating systems. We will need 79% of cars at that time to be electric, while 1% are right now. We can't possibly achieve 80% emissions below 1990 without decarbonizing and retrofitting our homes at a tremendous cost. And by the way, these numbers are according to the state's commissioned report. It is our responsibility to speak for our constituents. We are their voices when it comes to making laws. This amendment says this plan must be submitted to the General Assembly, and where we will debate the recommendations in the mandated plan and pass laws after public hearings and the ability to represent our constituents. This amendment is about who should be wielding the power and control and the act of our towns and our constituents. And we say it is our duty, not unelected bureaucrats in the executive branch. Why would we delegate so much authority and abrogate our own responsibilities to our constituents? In this amendment, we are essentially asking that the council's plan be advisory until the plan comes to us for debate, codification, or changes. If this law passes as is, we are literally giving up our control for the people, and I just don't understand why we would do that. It is simply not enough for us to exercise oversight of this council. We know our constituents, we work for them directly, and we answer to them every 2 years at the ballot box, not the council. Please support this amendment. It is the way things should work.
The amendment has been offered and seconded. On the amendment, Senator Bell, do you want to speak on this amendment?
I do, yes. So this amendment, I understand, there's been a lot of talk on this bill about how it's very problematic. There's all this executive authority being granted. Really what we're talking about is the power to enact regulations, which is something we do all the time. It's not as wild and expansive and unprecedented as people are talking about. There's also a very practical concern. And, I might want some more legislative oversight, probably to push it in a different direction than the sponsors of this amendment are advocating for, because I don't think this bill goes far enough. But I understand the reason for legislative oversight. There is a very simple reason why the bill couldn't be structured this way, and that's that it violates separation of powers, as was found out when the governor tried to sue and actually successfully sued and was going to win in court over legislation that was going to require regulations around cannabis to be codified by the General Assembly. This legislation, this amendment is unconstitutional. There's a reason it's not in the bill, and that is that it would violate separation of powers, as we learned in this high-profile case. I think there maybe is an argument that separation of powers could use some tweaks to have the ability that there can be more checks and balances, that perhaps it should be rebalanced. But we have the Constitution we have, not the Constitution we want. And this amendment is unconstitutional. So I urge everyone to reject this amendment.
Thank you, Senator Bell. Chairwoman Oyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do concur that this amendment is unconstitutional based on separation of powers and the experience that we learned in 2019 around the medical marijuana issue. I do appreciate any concerns raised about public process, and that is why the Administrative Procedures Act is leveraged throughout this legislation. There's public comment, there's public opportunity, and I look forward to additional public dialogue on this issue as we move forward. This is the start of a conversation, and it's continuing the work that the Senate has done very well, I think, in leading on climate change, back from when the Senate took the lead on the 2014 Resilient Rhode Island Act. But really looking at agencies to make sure that we're following science, that we're following good input is really a key important part of making good public policy. And so I urge my colleagues to reject this amendment.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Further discussion on the amendment? Hearing none, the clerk will please unlock the machine. We are on the amendment. Those voting in favor of the amendment, please hit the green button. Those opposed, the red button. If all members have cast their vote, the clerk will lock the machine. There are 10 members in the affirmative and 26 members in the negative, and the amendment fails. On the act, Senator Rogers.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd also like to propose another amendment. At the appropriate time after I propose it, I'd like to explain it and make a comment. The amendment would be LC 0001259-52.
Senator Rogers offers an amendment. LC 001259/52. Senator, would you endeavor to explain the amendment?
Thank you. A comment before and after. The reason why I'm putting these amendments in is I think the bill currently stands is a runaway train. And a runaway train could be dangerous because we don't know where that train is going to run off the tracks. So this amendment, Mr. President, the purpose of this amendment and colleagues is when you look at H5445 on page 3, lines 16 to 19, requires that no later than December 31st, 2022, only 20 months from now, the EC4 Council shall submit to the Governor and the General Assembly an update to the Greenhouse Gas Emissions Reduction Plan. The proposed amendment adds to that provision that neither the Council nor any other state agency shall promulgate any plan or implement any regulation which provides that any regulation implemented by any state agency shall include an economic impact statement prepared by an independent third party selected by the agency or the Council. Now, the reason for this is it is critical to get back to accountability. How much is any of this going to cost? So far, we only know what the state's own report told us, the Brattle report. And those numbers and estimates are staggering. The costs of forcing consumers to heat their homes and drive cars with renewable energy is likely to be enormous. The cost of installing an electric heating system can range anywhere from $19,700 to $34,200. And in some cases, it could reach as high as $50,000 to $100,000. Rhode Island already gives off around the second lowest amount of carbon dioxide in the country, as my colleague spoke, and has around the fourth highest electric rates in the nation. The amendment would, at the very least, provide us with an economic impact statement by an independent third party to then tell us what the future holds for our constituents in their pocketbooks. Thank you.
Senator Rogers offers the amendment. Is there a second? Second by Senator Morgan. Senator Dela Cruz and Senator Paolino and Senator Algier. Discussion on the amendment. Senator Bell.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I'm going to ask everyone to read the amendment. This is something I think is really important that we do. And having had a brief chance to read it, I don't think it actually does what the senator from Foster says that it does. It actually says that neither the council nor any other state agency shall promulgate any plan or implement any regulation which provides that any regulation implemented by any state agency shall include an economic impact statement. So what it actually does is it bans the implementation of any regulation that requires a regulation have an economic impact statement. It's actually against economic impact statements, not in favor of them. But it is also unconstitutional because of the provision against non-retrenchment. No body can effectively bar its future action without a private contract or some private party to enforce it. It is an important principle of such law, and so it would be unconstitutional and unenforceable, even though what it actually does is, I think, goes against the intent of this amendment. So I think we should vote this amendment down.
Thank you, Senator Bell. Senator Oil.
Thank you, Mr. President. Quite simply, this amendment is wasteful spending. The Administrative Procedures Act already requires rulemaking processes to consider alternative approach, cost-benefit analysis, and the benefits of the proposed rule to justify the cost of the proposed rules. That's done as part of the rulemaking process, and to have to hire an outside contractor is just going to add to the overall cost. So I think this is a wasteful, duplicative process, and I urge my colleagues to vote against it.
Thank you, Senator Oil. Further discussion on the amendment? Hearing none, the clerk will please unlock the machine. We are on the amendment. If all members have recorded their vote, the clerk will lock the machine. There are 8 votes in the affirmative, 27 against, and the amendment fails. On the act, Senator Dela Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move an amendment, LC 001259/51.
Thank you. Senator Dela Cruz moves amendment LC 001259/51. The Senator, would you like to endeavor to explain?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. What this amendment does is remove Section 3 of the bill, which is the enforcement section. In addition to the mandates that will be aspirational by this amendment, this section extends legal standing to any person in Rhode Island to sue the state. We all know what a litigious society we live in, and this amendment is to prevent the people from being on the hook from vexatious litigation. Having a plan is good. We already have one that is aspirational. Removing Section 3 makes the bill what it should be, aspirational and not a mandate. Meeting the renewable energy goal is virtually impossible. We simply do not have the technology. Last week, our new governor expressed his objection to this bill that would give any Rhode Island resident, company, organization, or nonprofit the standing to sue and enforce the law. In his letter to House Environment and Natural Resources Committee just last week, Governor McKee said, "The preceding list of potential parties, plaintiff, is unduly broad and likely to lead to expensive, protracted, and vexatious litigation against the state of Rhode Island." He further wrote that such litigation will divert resources and attention from pursuing the primary objective of the bill, which is the betterment of the state's environment through the reduction of greenhouse gases that contribute to climate change. This amendment would take away these lawsuit-friendly provisions, and many of our constituents and even our governor are against. In its current version, it may say that only the state can be sued, but let's be realistic. Lawsuits will cost the taxpayers even more money, in addition to all the money our constituents will be spending on retrofitting their homes and buying electric cars. I ask you all to support this amendment. Thank you.
Senator De La Cruz moves the amendment. Is there a second? Second by Senator Algier, Senator Morgan, Senator Rogers, Senator Paolino. Discussion on the amendment. Senator Lawson. Senator Lawson would like to change her vote and be recorded in the negative on the last amendment. The last amendment, correct, Senator? Yes. It does not affect the outcome. Hearing no objection, so ordered. We're on the amendment. Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. President. Not only does this remove the enforceability section, and it also removes that the greenhouse gas emissions are mandatory. It's just an affront to common sense, and why would we do this bill without the ability to enforce it? Citizen suit provisions are well-recognized standard practice in environmental law. What many people may not realize, actually, since we came to session today, Governor McKee did indicate that he would sign the bill upon consultation with the Attorney General's office. And the Attorney General has issued a letter, which I will read an excerpt from. Citizen suit provisions, such as the one included in this bill, are not uncommon. In fact, they already exist in notable environmental laws like the Clean Air Act and Clean Water Act, where they have played an important role in creating protections we have today. They are both practical and procedural safeguards that prevent spacious litigation from advancing in court. This office regularly represents state agencies when they are sued. As with every case, our response to litigation will be driven by the merits of the particular case. At times, we successfully secure swift dismissals of meritless claims, and other times we work towards resolutions that require state agencies to correct conduct that fails to meet legal or constitutional requirements. Accordingly, I do not believe that such concerns should undermine or delay passage of this watershed legislation. And that was signed by Peter Nerona. And with that, I urge my colleagues to vote against this amendment.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Further discussion on the amendment? Hearing none, the clerk will please unlock the machine. Has everyone registered their vote? Clerk will please lock the machine. There were 10 votes in the affirmative, 26 in the negative, and the amendment fails. Back on the act. Senator De La Cruz. Senator Paolino, your light is lit. Senator De La Cruz, please proceed.
I promise not to keep you here for 4 hours like the House, our lower chamber, did to to the House. My last amendment, LC 001259/51. Did I get the wrong one?
We just did that.
Check my notes. Bear with me, sorry about that. Got my papers mixed up, my notes.
Does the clerk have the right one? It's submitted, correct?
It's LC 001259/56. 51. Nope, it was 56. Sorry about that. Too many amendments, see? Just kidding. Not enough amendments.
Senator Dela Cruz, are you offering that amendment?
Yes, Mr. President.
Senator Dela Cruz offers LC 001259/56. Please proceed, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President. The purpose of this amendment is to alleviate the concerns on page 6 where it says, where the defendant is a government entity, which seems to indicate that a defendant could be a private party or private business. Why not clear it up in the legislation that the lawsuits can only be against government entities?
Dela Cruz offers the amendment. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Morgan, Senator Rogers. Discussion on the amendment. Chairwoman Oyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Right, so where a party is a government entity, that's the whole point of the bill. The whole point of the bill is that the government is actually the only entity under this bill that has any affirmative obligations. And it's referenced back at multiple points where the enforcement provision looks back to the different obligations that the government entity has. So I think that this amendment is duplicative and confusing, and I urge my colleagues to reject it.
Thanks, Senator Oyer. Further discussion on the amendment. Clerk will please unlock the machine. If everyone has cast their vote, the clerk will lock the machine. There were 10 votes in the affirmative, 26 in the negative, and the amendment fails. We are back on the act. Senator Paolino, your light is lit.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have one and only one amendment today. It's LC 00159/55.
Thank you. Senator Paolino offers LC 001259/55. Would you like to explain the amendment, Senator Paolino?
Yes, I would love to.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. And colleagues, on page 6, lines 6 through 8, the bill says the provisions in this chapter may be enforced by means of an action in the Superior Court seeking either injunctive relief, a declaratory judgment, a writ of mandamus, or any combination thereof. So this amendment is a proposal for a simple change from a Superior Court judge to a panel of 5 judges as appointed by the presiding justice. The purpose of this proposed amendment is because of how difficult it is to get in front of the Supreme Court if you are the aggrieved party in Superior Court. The Superior Court judge has a lot of power in this legislation. She is not an expert in greenhouse gas emissions, I have immense respect for the people who give advice and consent to sit on the bench for a lifetime tenure, but I do not think any one person should have that much power to make these critical decisions with regard to litigation that is filed under it. It is great that a litigant, plaintiff, or defendant will have the right to appeal, but that appeal is very limited in its scope to a clear error of law or an abuse of the discredited standard. So I urge my colleagues to support this amendment. Last time, what it does is that it would take the Superior Court judge from the single deciding factor and open it up to 5 judges that are appointed by the presiding justice. Thank you.
Senator Paolino moves passage of the amendment. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Morgan, Senator Rogers, Senator Dela Cruz. Is there discussion on the amendment? Chairwoman Oyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Quite simply, there's no precedent for this. The Superior Court judges hear matters in front of them on a regular basis. I have every confidence that they would be able to hear this, any case brought before them under this law in the same way. And the way that the appellate practice works, they would get a panel of judges on appeal. So I don't think that we should be creating special judicial process for this legislation, and I would urge my colleagues to reject this.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Further discussion on the amendment? Hearing none, the clerk will please unlock the machine. If everyone has cast their vote, the clerk will lock the machine. There are 5 votes in the affirmative, 31 in the negative, and the amendment fails. We are back on the act. On the act. Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. President. Providing there's no other amendments. I'm very grateful to my Senate colleagues who supported Senate Bill 78 a few weeks ago, and I ask for their support again today. Climate change is happening now, and it is a crisis. We have so much to lose if we remain paralyzed by fear-mongering and uncertainty, but we have so much to gain by taking action. I believe that it is in the best interest of our state, in the best interest of our constituents, for us to take action. Act on Climate will send a signal to clean energy companies, investors, as well as the federal government that Rhode Island is ready to lead in the green economy. By adopting this legislation, we will be creating the conditions to attract investments, federal dollars, and new businesses at the forefront of the energy transition. This will position our state to grow green-collar jobs and serve as a center of innovation for the future. I believe that this legislation is a meaningful promise to future generations to ensure a livable and vibrant future. I hope you will join me in voting in favor. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A further discussion on the act? Will the act pass? The clerk will unlock the machine. If all members have cast their vote, the clerk will lock the machine. There were 28 votes in the affirmative, 9 in the negative, and the act passes. That concludes our calendar for today. We now revert to announcements and introductions. Are there any introductions? Are there any announcements? Chairman Felag.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. For planning purposes, the Finance Committee will be meeting at the unusual time of 2:30 on Thursday via WebEx. Your prompt attendance is greatly appreciated. And also another note to the finance members, there's a possibility we could be meeting on the following Monday. So keep that in mind and check your emails. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairwoman Sosnowski.
Thank you, Mr. President. Announcement?
Please proceed, Senator.
The Senate Commerce Committee will be meeting on Thursday at 5 p.m. Virtual. and we hope to see all the members in attendance. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Sosnowski. Chairwoman Kano.
Thank you, Mr. President. Announcement.
Please proceed, Senator.
The Senate Education Committee will be meeting tomorrow, Wednesday, at 4 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Kano. Senator Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Announcement.
Please proceed, Senator.
The Senate Committee on Housing and Municipal Government will be meeting tomorrow, April 7th at 3 p.m. via WebEx.
Thank you, Senator Coleman. Senator Murray.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to be recorded in the affirmative on item number 6.
You would like to be, I'm sorry, Senator, recorded in the affirmative?
On item number 6.
On item 6? Senator Murray would like to be recorded in the affirmative on item 6. It does not change the outcome. Hearing no objection, so ordered. Senator DeMario.
Mr. President, I just have an announcement.
Please proceed.
The Committee on Environment and Agriculture will be meeting tomorrow, Wednesday, at 5 p.m. via WebEx.
Thank you, Senator DeMario. Senator Archambault.
Thank you, Mr. President. Announcement, please.
Please proceed, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President. Judiciary will be meeting on Thursday at 3 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Archibald. Senator DePalma.
Announcement, Mr. President.
Please proceed, Mr.
Senate
Chairman.
Committee on Rules, Government Ethics, and Oversight will be meeting on Monday at 5:30 p.m.
Thank you, Chairman DePalma. Further announcements and/or introductions. Is there any objection to transmitting adopted resolutions to the Honorable Secretary of State, all matters passed by the Senate to the Honorable House of Representatives, and all matters passed in concurrence to His Excellency the Governor? Hearing none, so ordered. The desk is now clear of business. I call on Senator Goodwin for the purpose of recess, Senator, correct?
Correct. Thank you, Mr. President. If there's no further business to come before the Senate, I'll yield the floor this evening to Senator Coyne for purposes of recess.
Senator Goodwin yields the floor to Senator Coyne for the purpose of a recess. Senator Coyne, please proceed.
Thank you, Whip Goodwin. I'd like to recess in memory today of retired Providence Police Detective Stephen J. Springer.
Senator Coyne moves that we recess in memory of Stephen J. Springer, second by Leader McCaffrey. All those in favor, please rise. The Senate stands in recess.